And welcome to Gambling and Rambling. I am joined by Corey and Nick. Today we're going to be going over the DraftKings main slate, giving you our favorite plays at each position, going game by game. So we'll start off by the first game on the slate is the Cincinnati versus the Jets. We don't need to spend too much time on this. There's probably only a few plays. Yeah. Corey, do you like anyone from this game?
Wide receivers, Higgins. You can play Jamar Chase as well. They've kind of showed us Jamar Chase is coming alive this entire year. He's been playing well, catching touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. But value play Higgins below 5K. I think he's probably the best play on the slate. As well with Mixon. I like Mixon a lot. I think, the Bengals take a huge lead, and they just run the ball out with Mixon. So those are my only plays. Stay away from the Jets. I mean, there's no one to play on the Jets.
Yeah, nobody. Nick?
I agree. No one to play on the Jets. I was really hoping we could talk more about what happened to Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, he kind of
where did he go?
Yeah, well, he has like a 17% target share this year.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to be wide receiver 1 for that team this year. I mean, historically,
I don't know how you could have ever thought that with a man like Jamar Chase. Your disrespect for Jamar Chase coming in was ridiculous. Everybody's, you and Corey.
Hey, all the beat writers in Cincinnati were writing home that, Jamar Chase can't catch the football because it doesn't have the stripes on it. It's the
wrong. That was all taken out of context. It was just they took a line that he said and blew it up into this big story. How could anyone have believed that a man?
I don't know. I thought, he sat out a year. I was like, maybe he's going to take a little time to come back. It's not that I ever doubted him. I just didn't think that he would be having a legendary year, one of the best rookie campaigns we've ever seen.
Yeah,
right off the bat. I mean, good for him, and I certainly respect him now. I like him at 7,500 this week. He seems like one of the safest bets at that range. So, I like him.
Yeah, at 18 years old, he was torching like the most elite corners that we've even seen in the league right now, and he was just making them look like fools. He made Marlon Humphreys look like a fool. He makes everybody. Like I said just in the last show, in a few years, everyone will look back and be like, yeah, well, I don't know why we didn't think he was the best wide receiver then, because he is obviously now. But I don't know. And the thing is, in DFS, because you have Adams, who's with Rodgers, who has a 40% target share. So for fantasy purposes, because they're still three-headed and they have Mixon, plus Higgins and Boyd, with Chase at 7,500, when you have other receivers that have such a bigger target share, for fantasy reasons, I think T. Higgins is probably one of your best cash game plays and tournament plays. But have some Chase in tournaments because of his upside. But for cash games, Higgins is probably the best play from this game.
Also,
and no Mixon, solid tournament
also,
play.
Stay away from Uzma this week. I think people are going to be on him just because his recent plays. But, I mean, he caught one ball where he was completely wide open in the middle of the field. So, just stay away from him.
And Bengals
defense at 36.
Bengals defense, great play.
That's honestly the play. That's the play on this one. All right, on to the next one. Miami and Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
PB, who do you like here besides Myles Gaskin?
Well, I don't like Myles Gaskin. I actually kind of liked him last week, but if he's going to get more popular and he's now more expensive, not against Buffalo. Buffalo actually has a solid defense. My favorite plays are probably, Josh Allen for one, and then probably just stacking him with Stephon Diggs. But I like some of the other more expensive running backs or receivers a little bit more than Diggs, but I think those are the only two plays you can consider from this game.
Yeah, I don't
like Miami at all. I don't like the Miami fantasy side of the ball at all.
No, it's terrible.
Even though I think they can cover.
I mean, maybe Gesicki, but again, he's getting too expensive, and there's other players at his price range or below his price range that I think are better plays this week. And for the Buffalo side running backs, Zach Moss and Singletary. This might be the week. I'm not going to play any of them, but this could be a week
don't play him.
I know don't play him, but I'm just saying like I could see one of them having like a 2-touchdown game and being in like the Millie Maker lineup because they're gonna go so low owned and it just. But again, I'm not gonna take that risk, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I also like Beasley as well. I think Beasley gets overlooked a little bit.
Yeah. That Nick, and did you?
Any thoughts on like those cornerbacks for the Dolphins?
Yeah, that's why I'm not big on. Like I think this really could end up being a lower scoring game.
Yeah, I really wish Dawson Knox was actually playing this week. I think he probably would have had a good matchup. That's the soft spot of the Dolphins defense, but I don't really love anyone to pick in this game, honestly. I don't see like huge breakout potential. I love Mike Gesicki. I even don't really like him that much this week. I think Terrell Edmonds is an awesome linebacker in coverage. So
Gesicki off 2 good games, he could be more popular. Just fade, let him play him.
Don't touch him.
I think there's better looks out there.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Next game, we have another
snooze fest.
Blowout Rams versus Houston. There's always good plays when the Rams are playing. So, Corey, what do you like here?
I'm so mad because last week I touched on both Stafford and Kupp, and I didn't play enough of them where I needed to play them. I don't want to be on that side again this week, but Kupp at 9K is kind of it's not ridiculous because he's earned that price tag with his performance. So if anything, Woods at 6,300, I feel like Woods always has like a decent game like every 3 games. Like he pops up and they're like, oh god, we have to get Woods involved this week because the last 2 weeks he hasn't done much. So Woods at 6,300 is very intriguing to me. So and then I'll let you guys talk about the other plays that you have.
Nick, what plays do you like from this game?
I kind of like Darrell Henderson. I just think it could get out of hand and they're just going to slow it down. So I kind of like the game script falling in his favor. I don't like anyone on the Texans at all. Terrible running backs. You're not passing against Jalen Ramsey, so that wipes Brandon Cooks out of the picture. Kupp, props to that guy. I saw something this week that he's on pace to have the best fantasy season ever. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's
probably
great. He's so good.
He's not going to get you 10 points, but I don't know, $9,000 against the Texans, like kind of tempting.
Yeah. I think Kupp is like one of the safest cash game plays you can make because of how much volume he gets. And he's playing such bad teams that it's just like, the Rams could blow them out, but it's like they're often doing it with Kupp. Yeah. So like all these teams they put up points against, it's usually because of one of the pass catchers. And then Darrell Henderson, I believe he's the best overall play on the entire slate. I may play him in 100% of lineups this week. Darrell Henderson is, like, I'm glad, like the fact that he had a bad game this past week. He was still the best play last week. And now they made him $100 cheaper. And I really hope people shy away from him somehow this week and play him less because he burned a lot of people. He'll still probably be one of the highest owned people on the slate, but I absolutely love him going against this Houston team. Last week was just funny with the Lions. Like the Lions had some weird fake punts and some weird ways to get up early, so they had to rely on Cooper Kupp more. Cooper Kupp, again, you could play Kupp and Henderson both in cash, but for tournaments, I'd rather play way more Henderson than Kupp. So that's what and then of course the Rams at 5,000 for their defense is still a good play.
Yeah, it is.
I still think maybe not as good of a play if Tyrod plays, because Tyrod likes to run a little bit more. But Darrell Henderson, best play of the slate. Next game we have 49ers versus Chicago. We'll start with Corey on this one. Any plays from this game?
I mean, you just have to keep looking at Allen Robinson. I know he's not getting catches. He's not getting targets. He's not catching the ball. But at 4,900, that's insane. Why is this man? He's the number one receiver there. And
it's because Justin Fields sucks, and we just have to accept it.
I know, and everyone, I like Allen Robinson at 4,900. I mean, maybe you play Herbert or Damian Williams at their price tags as well.
Against the 49ers?
I mean, you saw what Jonathan Taylor did last week to them. I know the Colts' offensive line is a lot better than the Bears, but like I said, I said maybe at their price range for some. I mean, thing with the Millie Maker, you do need something outrageous to happen, and I think
but you can find good outrageous plays, not just outrageous plays.
I'd rather play Brandon Ayuk and like hope he has his breakout game.
Right. Someone like that.
All right. Then I'm only playing A-Rob.
Yeah, he is A-Rob.
Mooney's the same price, and he's actually getting targets from Fields. So if you have to play a Bears receiver, I would lean Mooney.
Okay.
For me, I'd still lean Robinson. Like, I'm always going to take the more talented guy, especially at the same price tag. But I'll sprinkle him in just a few of my lineups, but I'll barely have any of him. I think the 49ers defense is probably the best play of this game, just because, again, Justin Fields sucks.
So I think they can probably get like 3 or 4 sacks.
He's terrible against the blitz too. Justin Fields is horrible against the blitz. But yeah, we don't have to talk about that game any longer. It's going to be one of the low. Not a lot of fantasy.
Be fun.
This one has some potential. So we have the Colts versus Tennessee. We'll start with the Colts fan, Corey.
Okay, the absolute disrespect that Michael Pittman's getting in fantasy it makes me so mad. He is $5,300. 53. And he's the number one target.
He put up 24 points last week or something.
I mean, you saw what he. I mean, all you have to do is throw the ball up high, and this man will go get it. I think he's probably the best play on the slate. I mean, Carson Wentz as well.
What? On the whole slate?
I'm with in this game. Sorry, not the whole slate.
Oh,
in this
I was
game.
like, what?
No, in this game. And then with Wentz as well at 5,700. I mean, the dude, he's not putting up huge numbers. I mean, so cash game lineups I like Wentz. Pittman tournament plays. I think he's going to be really high owned, especially because everyone watched the Colts on Monday night. They saw what his ability is for Pittman to go up and get the ball. So I think he's going to be very highly owned this week in tournaments. If Ty is healthy, I do like them. I like him as well. That you saw what they did his first game back.
Would you like him for like half a quarter?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You just think he's going to catch a long one in half a quarter?
If he stays healthy, they utilize him.
Sammy's catch up to him.
I mean,
right.
The very first play of the game.
He runs out of his legs every game. Like
the amount of times I've played T.Y. Hilton, and then I get a fantasy notification like a quarter in, and Hilton in the green tent.
It's a blue tent. Return. It's a blue tent, but and then I guess the last play, Mo Alley Cox at 3,200. He's had 4 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. He doesn't get many yards, so don't expect like a huge game. But if you can get 2 they look at him in the red zone. So I mean, if you can get 2 touchdowns, I mean that's enough to win a milli. So I'm done with the game. So I'll let someone else take over.
I kind of like the Wentz Pittman stack, maybe with Jonathan Taylor too. I think it's going to be a really high scoring game actually. I like AJ Brown. I don't like Tannehill really. There's just better plays. I'm actually going to play Wentz and Pittman in my milli maker. So
wow, there you go. So you're probably running that back with either Henry or Brown.
Yeah, with Brown.
Yeah, I think Wentz and Pittman and AJ Brown are I think the best plays of this game. I think if people are going to be on Pittman, I'd rather come off of him a little bit. I've been on Pittman all year, but if people now they saw him in prime time and they're going to kind of gravitate towards him, I'd rather play some other guys as price tag. And then Jonathan Taylor is in consideration, but Henderson is cheaper than him and is a better play, so I'd rather just play Darrell Henderson over him. And DeAndre Swift is right around his price range. I'd rather play DeAndre Swift over Taylor as well.
This might be kind of just a sneaky game for Hines. He didn't do anything last week, and if this game is going to be scoring a lot, I think they might utilize him more out of the backfield and catching some screen passes, some he was one play away from having a pretty good game last week in that monsoon. So maybe look at that. I think he's around like 4,800. So in consideration as well. So, but we can. I think that's probably might be the game of the week with scoring wise as well with the high over under. But we can move on to Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Nick, you can start this one off and give us your brownie plays.
I think we'll probably have a little bit tougher time against the run this week. So I don't really care for
Are you going to stuff it in your guys' face this week?
I don't know. Like Anthony Walker's back, so I think we should be fine. Yeah, I don't really like anyone from this game. I think it'll be a lower scoring game, honestly. So I'm kind of staying away from it.
That. Yeah.
There's just there's greener grass other games, so just kind of fading this one.
Corey?
James Washington at 3,800 is kind of intriguing. He is the third.
What name did you just say?
James Washington.
James Washington.
He's
in a low scoring game like this, you're gonna pick not Claypool, not Deontay Johnson, not Najee. You're gonna go to James Washington.
Yes, at his price tag, 3,800.
What is it? Didn't you do this last week where you just said like just an absurd play that was like, why are you even considering them?
It was Chester Rogers last week, and he didn't even. He didn't end up playing.
Yikes.
He didn't play.
0 for 0?
He didn't play. So yes, he went 0 for 0. He didn't play.
Stop
I'm
trying to make these people lose. The few people that watch this, goodness.
I'm just saying, James Washington.
I would take the Goku over that, and he's 3K. So,
okay. All right. Well, when James Washington catches a deep ball for,
I don't even see him. I'm looking on DraftKings.
They probably don't even have him in the player pool because
he's not even in the player pool. Oh, here he is, 3,800.
3,800.
He had 1.9 points, 1 catch, 9 yards last week.
That's gonna win you a milli, though.
He's got 10 receptions, 100 yards on the year. That's pretty good, Corey. I mean, Justin Jefferson's doing that every week, so good call.
James Washington.
Instead, save yourself $800, get more volume, and we're on to the Philadelphia-Detroit game.
Hang on. So instead of Washington, just Claypool and Johnson will probably be really low. I'll just play one of them.
Okay.
I don't know. Denzel Ward's pretty good. And
you probably don't play. You probably just kind of shy away. You definitely don't play Odell Beckham because
he's hurt too. You can't play a hurt player.
Who would have imagined a couple years ago that we'd see an Odell at 4,600?
That's sad. It's sad. His time in the spotlight is over. He's not even. I mean, when he does get the looks, he's just dropping it.
He trips on the ground.
I don't get what's going on. He just doesn't have that same mentality anymore. He just doesn't seem as hungry.
Yeah, honestly, Najee might be the best if you play someone.
Play anyone.
Yeah, just not based on volume. So, all right. Next game, Philly and Detroit.
Yeah.
All right. I think really with this play, you can play Jalen Hurts at his price tag just because of the rushing upside, and then also stack that with Devontae Smith, who's priced way too low at 5,500. I think that's probably one of the better plays. Detroit cannot stop the pass, and I think this game's going to be back and forth. So give me Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts.
No Hawkinson.
I don't want to take all. I didn't want to touch on everything. I want to give this. This is a three-headed monster over here.
Then.
There you go. Talk about Hawkinson.
I think if you had to play one player from this game, you're taking him. He's going to have the most volume out of any other player on offense for either team. So pretty much a no-brainer. We know the Eagles are terrible against tight ends. Their cornerbacks are actually pretty good, so not expecting any of the Detroit receivers to catch anything. Their run defense is pretty bad too, so DeAndre Swift could eat. So I guess if I had to pick a second player, it's him.
Yeah.
Staying away from the Eagles, though, as bad as the Lions' defense is, They just don't have the right scheme or something. I don't know. It's not clicking. So I don't like betting on players in bad offenses.
Yeah, this is probably, out of all the games that we've talked about, this is the one where I think it can be back and forth. It's going to be one of my highest owned game stacks on both sides of the ball. Actually, I'm going to be playing quite a bit of Jared Goff this week, and a lot of Jalen Hurts, because the Eagles play at a really, really fast pace. Like, I know they don't, but they do play, and when you're in fantasy, you want the more plays that are being run. It's just great for your fantasy team. So I like stacking Jalen Hurts. Probably, I mean, I guess, either Devonta Smith. Is Lions, do they play in a dome?
Yes.
Yeah, they also play in a dome, and that is even more beneficial for pass catchers in general. So I like, you play the Jalen Hurts, stack him with Devonta Smith or Goddard, probably just one of the two, because Hurts just doesn't throw enough for both of them to get there. And then on the Detroit side, Jared Goff does throw the ball quite a bit, but I just can't get myself to play any of his receivers.
Yeah.
So instead of stacking him with a receiver, I like stacking him with DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson, and then running it back with either Goddard or Devonta Smith. Like, I'm really going to be trying to game stack this whichever direction I can, a bunch of different combinations. Jared Goff isn't just a good tournament play. He's actually, like, I'm coming more around to him at his price tag, like, for cash games. I think I'm playing either Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff in cash games.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Jared Goff's price tag.
One of those in the Millie Maker?
What?
Who's going in the Millie Maker?
The Millie Maker, honestly, if Jared Goff is going to be super low owned, it might be Jared Goff.
Could be.
But there's some other quarterbacks that have upside, but I do like Goff a lot this week. Right. But yeah, Hawkinson, of course, is if I'm playing a game stack in a different game, I think Hawkinson is like the one player I really want to get from this game, because of, like I said, how bad the Eagles are against tight ends, and Hawkinson is a really good tight end. So, I love this game a lot for fantasy. Next game, we have Carolina versus Atlanta. Corey, you want to start us off with this one?
If I have to play another week of Robbie Anderson at his price tag and he doesn't do anything, I'm never playing him ever again. Every week you're scrolling through DraftKings and you see Robbie Anderson and you click on him. The amount of targets this man gets is astronomical.
Unreal.
And he has like 200 yards on the season with like one touchdown. And Carolina's secondary is Atlanta's secondary is not the greatest. I think this also could be a high scoring game. So I'm going to play him again. Give me Robbie Anderson. As gross as that sounds, because the last couple weeks he's burned all of us, I'm pretty sure. But him, and then bring it back. I love Matt Ryan in the spot. At home, he plays significantly better than he does on the road, and he has the weapons.
Dome?
Yeah. Yes, they do play in dome. And kind of a bring back spot, dude. Russell Gage at 4,200. I know he's not the favorite target of Matt Ryan right now. It's Kyle Pitts or Ridley, but he last week he had a pretty good game.
50-yard touchdown, I think.
Yeah, so I like him at 4,200, kind of as if you're stacking this game to try and get different. I like him at 4,200.
Nick?
Yeah. I kind of like the Russell Gage pick too. For that level, he's definitely my favorite 4,000 receiver. He's really only played 2 full games this year, and he's had 5 catches, or 4 in one, 5 in the other. He's got 1 touchdown, so I mean, he's getting volume. I think, let him get back in game shape, and we could see something special out of the kid.
This is my second favorite game on the slate for game stacking, because I know Darnold has looked terrible his last 3 games, but that's just more people are going to be off of him for tournaments. And like I said, Atlanta brings out the best in pretty much every quarterback. Like, they're so bad. And so I like stacking both sides. So if I'm playing Darnold, I love playing him with double stacking him even with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. It'll just be kind of a mix of Chuba Hubbard, Ridley, and Anderson. And Robbie Anderson has 40 targets in his last 4 games, and he has less than 100 yards to show for 40 targets. That is,
makes no sense.
I think it actually is like, it has to be a record. I don't see how it wouldn't be. But the amount, he still gets so many air yards, and at his price for a player like him, like, I tell myself every week that if he doesn't do it this week, I'm done. And then I still want to go back to him because he gets another 11 target game. And now he gets to face Atlanta. So this, like Corey said, this is it. If he cannot get there this week, I can't do it to myself anymore.
No.
Like, I did that to myself with Odell, and I'm done. Like, I haven't played Odell. It's been great. And I need to, but if Robbie Anderson gets there this week, I'll keep playing him.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I like him. But Ridley, I don't think you need to go to Pitts, or you don't need to go to Gage this week, because if Ridley was at his normal price tag of like in the 7,000 and 8,000 range, which we've seen him at before, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I should get to a wide receiver 2 on the team. But because Ridley is only 6,600, he's one of my favorite receiver plays of the entire week, going against Carolina. And I actually love DJ Moore is one of my favorite. I just love this game in general. I like DJ Moore. I like Anderson, Hubbard. Like, I'm going to be stacking this game just like I am.
A lot of plays.
There's so
much. I don't really love Chuba Hubbard.
He just gets the volume there, and he's the only person in the backfield.
He doesn't do anything with it, though. Like,
but volume is what ends up mattering at the end of the day, and they get there eventually.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing Robbie Anderson, so Robbie Anderson gets all the volume, and here we are again talking about Robbie Anderson.
I don't think that's the best argument, but I digress.
Atlanta's not good here.
All right, let's move on.
We have the Patriots versus the Chargers.
Yeah. Well, I like to toot my own horn again, but last week I did call Damian Harrison having a great game. He had 2 touchdowns, close to 100 yards. He was in the Millie Maker lineup, I'm pretty sure. This week,
I think he said in back there.
This week they have him at 6,100, I believe. Yeah, 6,100. He's still a good play, but this week I'm going to be off of him. I'm going to pivot to, if I had to take a running back, I'm going to take Eckler in this game. Eckler, just the amount of volume and work he gets all the touches. There's no other running back there that touches the ball. He catches the ball. And I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers decimate the Patriots this week. And I think, especially after the week against the Ravens, they played so poorly. I think this is a get-right game for the Chargers. And then one more play would be Keenan Allen is sub 7K, which is he's the better receiver there. I know Mike Williams is playing well. And
is he better though?
Yes, he is. Keenan Allen is definitely a better receiver than Mike Williams.
I disagree with that.
So,
not anymore. I mean, one slants in short route and the other's deep balls and jump catches. Like, for me, I think you have to play Mike Williams in fantasy.
Maybe.
I get that the price tag difference. Keenan Allen's probably a better play than Mike Williams this week.
I don't even like him for 6,500 though. I mean, I think that's too much.
I'll be playing a little Keenan Allen. I could see, like, they just got after the bye week. I could see them being like, all right, we need to get Keenan Allen a little bit more involved.
All right, but put it in this perspective. Jacoby Myers only 5,100, so you save $1,400 and you get a receiver with just as much value.
But you have to understand, who are the Patriots playing? They're playing the Chargers, who do not give it up to the pass, to the receivers at all.
Best pass defense in the league.
Yeah, they're one of the best pass defenses in the league. That's their game plan every week, is we will get beat on the ground and through the short field. They don't. And I know I've been playing Jacoby Myers every week, and I love him at this price tag.
At least 5 receptions, no matter who they play.
Yeah, Jacoby's gone the longest without, like, the most receptions without a touchdown, like, I don't know, in history or something. It's crazy. But yeah, like Corey said, he's a little pricey. But he's a decent play. I never really play Damian Harris because he doesn't really get involved in the passing game. But against the Chargers, who run funnel defense, I'm going to have a little bit of Damian Harris this week. Just a little.
Yeah.
I just don't like him as a play, really, but I have to play him against this defense. Other than that, I think Jonnu Smith is like a sneaky tight end play at 2,800.
Yeah, and he was getting volume last week too. So
yeah, I think that going against can see Belichick being like, we are targeting Hunter Henry and Jonnu that's going to be like their game plan. If I was Bill Belichick, that's what I would do, and I think he's smart enough to
revenge game for Hunter Henry here. So,
oh yeah, it is a revenge game.
Harry breakout.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll stop there with this game.
Let's move on.
Kill Harry. We're getting too deep here. Next game we have Jacksonville versus Seattle. I have one.
I like James Robinson.
Maybe one play from this game.
I like James Robinson as well, Nick. I think
that's my only play from this game.
Yeah. I mean, the Seattle front line looked better against Saints than they have in the weeks past. I still think that James Robinson, he's the only player there that touches the ball in the backfield. I mean, DK and Lockett. I mean, DK's under 7K. I mean, for his athletic ability, I mean, it's really low. Yeah.
I don't know, because then you're just betting on a home run ball, and there's just so many safer options out there. So I guess it depends how you're playing it, but
it depends on the tournament you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a large field tournament, you have to take the home run shots. But yeah, if you're playing in like a 500
or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah, double ups or a 500 person tournament where you can get different, but with like safer different plays, and then Lockett is probably more of like the larger fields home run play.
Yeah. But I mean, there's not really much else to play in this game, I don't think.
No, yeah, I don't really like that game.
Plus, we have a couple other more games to get to that are definitely a little bit more juicier. So.
Yeah, we have I don't think we have really one more game that's juicy, but Washington, Denver, I only have I like Denver's defense a little bit, and then of course I always like targeting the Washington secondary. So
yeah, and keep going.
No, I only have one play pretty much. I like Cortland Sutton. Judy, I did like Tim Patrick going into the week, but with Judy being back now, I don't want to play either because Tim Patrick will have a reduced workload, and Judy coming back from that injury, I don't know if he gets his full workload. Yeah, but I know Cortland Sutton will. Yeah. And at his price, I think he could have a big game against Washington. So yeah, I like Cortland Sutton.
I like him, and then Noah Fant. I mean, he's still pricey and he's kind of slowed down, but 4,900, especially when tight end plays are ugly every week, and if you don't really want to get too different, he's going to soak up a lot of targets as well. Running backs for each side, Gibson, I don't really have any interest in, and I don't really have any interest on the Washington side, actually, to be honest.
Well, I think it's interesting. I thought the biggest giveaway this week was Tony Gibson at 5,700. I mean, we saw Ernest Johnson put up 100+ yards on this Broncos rush defense. He seemed like a good play. Like if
he's battling an injury, right?
He's shin fracture.
If he plays, he's a stretch. I think one guarantee from this game is you have to fade the Denver running backs. That D line for the Redskins are nothing to mess with. So, I mean, we could rule them out, which is nice.
Sutton's the play.
Yeah, Sutton.
I kind of like Sutton. I've always thought he's a good receiver. I think. I haven't seen every team live, but he's one of the best players I've ever seen live. I think he's really underrated. I think he's a top-tier guy, so I always like Cortland Sutton, honestly.
Yeah.
All
right, we got a couple more minutes here. Let's finish
one more game, I think.
Yeah, one more game.
Just one more.
Yeah,
so for last.
I'll let's have Corey go first on the Bucks Saints. What plays do you like in here?
Give me AB at 6,100.
AB is not playing.
Has he been fully ruled out? Oh, he's doubtful.
Off
Okay,
to a hot start there.
AB's, so you're playing AB on crutches?
I didn't see the doubtful talk.
AB Michael Thomas duo.
When I was
he's like give me Brady with AB and run that back with Michael Thomas.
when I was looking at it earlier, AB was not doubtful, so my mistake on that. So then, all right, fine, give me Mike Evans or Godwin, either one. I know Lattimore will probably be on Evans, so give me Godwin. And you know what? If I really want to, I think Brady's gonna be very low owned, and I think this could be a high scoring game. I think there's gonna be points.
Is Brady ever really low owned though? Like, does he? I feel like people play him like every week.
I mean, I think people are gonna see this game and be like, I'm gonna stay away from Brady.
No, I think they're gonna look at that game and be like, I really think that this could turn into like a back and forth.
No one on the Saints. I mean, Kamara. I mean, he's at 8,700. That's a lot. I guess if he is catching 5-yard out routes for 10 times, then yeah, he's going to play him. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that against the linebacker core of the Bucks. So those are my plays. I'll let you guys finish it up.
I like Chris Godwin, and I wanted to tee something up. Would you rather play Godwin against the Saints or A.J. Brown at Indy? Similar price range. What do we think?
It's really close, but because that's really close.
Right? I can't decide.
It's a really tough decision, but because Lattimore is going to be on Evans, and because of how much the Bucks throw, like they pass more than every team in the league, Godwin.
Saints Monday is actually like the only productive unit I think on that team.
Oh my
God!
Okay. Now you're just gonna start saying nonsense because that's not true. We have a very good pass defense. We have an incredible D line. We get David Onyemata back this week, and
the running backs.
Yeah, but our pass defense is very, very good.
Yeah,
but if you had to pick our weakest link, like that's where Godwin could thrive. So,
right,
I think Godwin could have, he could have a big game this week. But
and he's cheaper than AJ Brown.
And he's cheaper, but AJ Brown is against the Colts. I don't know. It's tough, but Godwin's the only play on the Bucks. That he's the only play on the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't like the running backs there either. Like you were saying, I think
we will stuff Leonard Fournette anytime he tries to do anything against us.
Yeah, Ronald Jones. Sorry, Corey, but maybe sit this one out, bud.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones will finish the game with negative yards.
Probably.
I think Godwin
what's your
is the only one for me. Until Gronk is back, I'm just lost.
Gronk's coming back this week.
Is he?
I think so.
How many plays before he breaks another rib?
Yeah, don't play Gronk because Gronk won't do a thing against us.
He could get every sponsorship in the world, but can't find a bottle of milk. Jeez, get some calcium, kid.
I do think, one of the Saints receivers with this, like I think Winston, because the other thing is the Bucks rush defense isn't good, and Kamara will get the short passes, but we're not going to try to run on them. Like I think we're smart enough to know that. Yeah, so I think Winston. I think Traquan or Callaway could have a big game here, so I'm going to sprinkle one of those two into some lineups. And I think I'll have some Winston stacks with Winston, Kamara, and one of Callaway or Traquan. I'm going to definitely mix in just a little bit of Winston.
Yeah, I didn't realize Traquan was only 3,900. I mean, last week was the first game back, so the chemistry wasn't there. So maybe this week, full week of practice, he might be a little bit better.
He's like one of those home run that can just break a long one, and he's in winners. So that's all the games I believe we went through.
It is indeed.
And so that'll wrap this show up, and we will see you guys next week for Week 9.
Peace.
See ya.
All right.